Now, for more on this, I'm joined by Ed Butowsky. He's managing partner at Chapwood Investment Management. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Ed, President-elect Trump had a long list of goals for his first 100 days, as is usually the case for incoming presidents. So let's focus on the ones relating to the economy. What should top his list of priorities?
Well, look, the monetary policy has failed to work in this country. It's actually failed to work around the world. So what Trump needs to do is get both parties together, the Senate and the Congress, and pass a meaningful tax reform, which means cutting taxes. That is the only thing left we have to do in this country that will be successful to get our economy going. That is the first thing. That then will turn into new jobs, more tax revenue. It sounds kind of ridiculous to cut taxes and have more tax revenue, but there'll be a multiplier effect when people have more money in their pockets. More money then will go into the economy. That will work. It has always worked. Now, unfortunately, under Bush, we spent a little bit more, and that's why some people have a bad memory and say that it doesn't work when you cut taxes, but it does and it will.
Now, Ed, why do you think these issues resonated so much with his supporters?
Why do I think? I couldn't hear that? Excuse me?
Why do you think these issues, especially when it comes to taxes and job creation, why do you think it resonated so much more with his supporters than, say, Hillary Clinton's?
Well, first of all, Hillary Clinton never presented any plan. The only plan she put out there was that she was going to build bridges. I mean, if you go back and really look, there is absolutely nothing that she projected as a policy possibility, including even with President Obama. There was never a policy out there to grow the economy. And this country is sick and tired of being lied to, but more importantly, being told something and have it not happen. And Obama lost all credibility with Obamacare. So anything he said didn't have any credibility. He's a nice guy, but he wasn't a very good president. And in order to get the economy going, we have to take a hard look at everything. And that's what President Trump is going to do and get this economy going. It will happen. And when that does happen, by the way, the rest of the world's economies will start to move. You were just talking to someone in South Korea. The South Korean economy will move when the U.S. economy moves. And the rest of the world will move because the U.S. is the Pied Piper of the world economy.
Now, with that being said, obviously Trump hasn't taken office yet, so at the moment it's still his platform. We haven't actually seen any action yet. But he has also said that he's going to stand up to countries that cheat on trade and crack down on companies that send jobs overseas. So how will he go about that without alienating the closest trade partners and foreign investors?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's what a lot of people have concern about. He's not going to go into those meetings, as strong as he might come across while he's running for president. But we do have enormous trade deficit with China, enormous trade deficit with Mexico. And, that also, is good for our country because we bring items in here that we're able to buy at a lower value. So there's going to be give and take. It's not going to happen overnight. Is he going to alienate? No, because those countries need us like we need them. But we have to get this thing a little more balanced because it is completely out of balance. And we are, as he says, getting our butt kicked by China. There's no question about that. And I don't believe for a moment that that's going to change overnight. I mean, the Chinese and the Chinese government are very good at what they do. And we appreciate a lot of the things that we import here, right? But at the same time, there is a huge imbalance. So I think he'll be very careful in how he goes about that.
And also to make sure that we get the full picture, China is actually investing more in the U.S. than the U.S. is in China. So there's definitely a lot of room for negotiation there. Now, let's also talk immigration. He talked about building a wall on the southern border and restricting immigration to give unemployed Americans an opportunity to fill good-paying jobs. So how does tighter border control necessarily translate into Americans really getting access to those high-paying jobs?
Well, there's a lot of different discussions around the wall. I mean, the border has to be secured. We have terrorists that are coming across that southern border into the United States. I happen to live in the state of Texas, and you don't just have people from South America coming in, but you have a lot of ISIS sympathizers, and a lot of bad actors are coming across that border. Now, in terms of jobs, there's a lot of jobs that are fulfilled by people who come to this country illegally, and we're not just going to turn around and kick those people out. That's certainly not going to happen. And there's a lot of people in our country that don't want to take those jobs.
Right.
It's a very complicated thing. But the first thing we have to do is get rid of the access point for people who want to come in and do us harm, because there's estimated to be 30,000 ISIS sympathizers in our country today, and they don't like the United States. That's the first thing. It isn't jobs, it's safety.
Well,
Second thing about, go ahead.
Well, to be fair, that doesn't classify all immigrants. Statistics have actually shown that immigrants do, in the long term, actually bring more economic gains. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much for joining us. Ed Butowsky, Managing Partner at Chapwood Investment Management.